Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday, and we want to talk about having the right habits throughout the holiday season. All right, a lot of people get themselves in a lot of trouble this time of year, business and personal. I'll tell you how both of them look. Business, people take their foot off the gas. Why do they take their foot off the gas? Well, if you think about Christmas week, where it falls really Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, most places are not going to be open. All right. So that means that most people mail in that entire week and usually the week before. And then historically, between Christmas and New Year's, people take their foot off the gas. And, I've been in my space for 15 years and I've had some massive weeks between Christmas and New Year's where people needed help getting financing. All right. So one, it's the fact that people take their foot off the gas around the holidays. All right. I'm not telling you not to take off, but I am telling you to be attentive to your clients. I am telling you to continue the same habits that you're doing now that are helping you win and build what you need to build. The other way people get in trouble is they overspend on credit. Okay. Always during the holidays, people overspend on credit, which, hey, you know what? I get it. You want your kids to have nice things. You want them, to have an awesome Christmas. All right. But having that financial discipline is massive because what happens is you put yourselves in a hole that you're trying to dig out the entire year and it becomes a pattern, right? It becomes a pattern. And so don't let these patterns happen, right? Dave, what do you have on that?
Yeah, especially for the credit card side, guys. I mean, budget at least, right? Like I think it's important. Like when people spend too much or they have this bright eye of getting stuff, especially for their kids. Of course, you want to take care of your kids. It feels good. You know what I mean? There's nothing better than watching them. For me, watching them run downstairs and be like, "Hey, Santa came. This is amazing." But you got to draw the line somewhere. And I think a lot of times people start getting shiny object syndrome. They'll be on Instagram or Facebook, all of a sudden, Big Brother listens, pops an ad up. Oh, I got to get this for little Johnny. Oh, I got to get this for little Susie. And you keep on going. You guys just draw the line in the sand and stop with that. Because then by the time January comes and you start seeing what you've accumulated and you don't have a budget in, number one, it's going to shock your system. You're going to be like, holy shit, like I spent that much. And then two, you're more than likely going to panic or overthink and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend this much on interest. I overspent. All these crazy negative thoughts are going to start popping in your head. So I think it's important. We're obviously late in the season now because let's be real, mostly everybody these days orders everything online. So if you haven't bought now, chances are you're probably SOL unless you're a December 23rd mall shopper like my dad. So, but in all seriousness, guys, like you have time left. I would audit what you've already spent now, if you haven't already, and take a look at that and be like, all right, I'm good. Or be like, all right, if I have a budget, I got maybe $500 left, maybe $200 left, and then that's it, and I'm done. And you draw that line in the sand and you don't spend anymore. If it gets down to it, really cut the card up, man. Cut it up. You can always get another one. So it's be smart.
Yeah, I think that's huge because you got to remember you're putting yourself under pressure for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? I've done this, but I typically do it the other way. I do it with investments, and I've been very, very, very guilty of that at times. And then, not every investment hits, right? It's about maintaining that type of system that we always talk about where, hey, you have 50 to 60% of your budget goes to your fixed costs and then like your food, your car, your insurance, those types of things, 50 to 60%. And then you need to be able to stash away, 20 to 25% into savings, 20 to 25% into investing. And if you can maintain that every single month and you have that type and that level of discipline, right, you will build wealth. You will be in a much better position than I would tell you 98% of the rest of the people that you know, right? And it's just boiled down to having that structure and doing it the right way. Same thing with your business, guys. Like so many businesses I know overspend on things all the time, all the time. They put money into things, and it's always a gamble. And it's, when you're over allotting capital to certain places, whether you're a business or an individual, it tends to come back and bite you in the ass. There's typically like a happy medium. Now, savings is tough, right? Why is savings tough? Well, because the value of the dollar keeps going down. So that savings has to look different. Maybe it looks like it's in a money market account, right? Maybe it's in gold or something that isn't as volatile, right? But isn't going to lose, I don't know, 5%, 10% a year. Because that's ever since the pandemic, you can see that, the value of the dollar is dropping and dropping. And it's because they're printing. And look, they just lowered rates, which is good. Okay. But I think they're going to do some type of quantitative easing where they're going to pump more money into the markets. That means they're going to print more money. Right. And whether you like this administration, don't like this administration, they just sent a whole bunch more money overseas, which was supposed to stop. And it just doesn't seem like it's stopping. So like every time you guys see one of those bills, okay, that are going where I don't know what it was. It was something crazy, like 600 billion. Okay. And anytime
and another 80 to the two best friends.
Yeah. So like when you guys see that, just understand that like that's actually we're paying for that. Okay. That's not like it wasn't lying around in the government coffers. The government doesn't have that, right? They're printing that. That reduces our money's value. And then we ship it out overseas. Dude, I saw a crazy statistic. Like there's like 272 countries and we're giving money to like 91% of them.
Yeah. I don't care who's in office. That can't happen, man.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be any of them, guys. It shouldn't be any of them. You know why? Because we still have vets on the street. Okay, our roads are not great. Okay,
Dude, I knocked my car out of alignment so bad on a typical PA pothole. Like it's just like,
dude, I don't miss those, man. That's that is. I mean, they're here in Florida, but they're not like in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, the amount and the size of them and the frequency that you guys get them up north is
wild.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I get it's weather driven too, but I mean, they just don't fix them.
Yeah, they're already here, man. Because of the last week, early this year, we've had a lot of single digit temperatures, man, and they're starting to open up. Matter of fact, I give these guys props across the street from my house. They're replacing a roof today, and it's like 22 degrees outside.
Oh, that's miserable.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But again, sticking back to the topic, like money should stay here. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be going anywhere. 600 million to Ukraine, another 80 to Israel. Like,
100%.
Yeah. And I think at the point of time, I think from a financial standpoint, we're keeping it financing here. Stuff like that from any administration, as crazy as this sounds, or maybe it's not so crazy, it's going to start I think it's going to bring people together, man. Because it's going to be like, enough's enough. We don't care who's in office. Like
we had a revolution over 3% tax. Okay, we're close to 40 or 50.
22-year-olds.
Yeah, we're 40 or 50%. It's crazy. I think hey Michael, goodbye Michael. I think I think we need to get a little bit more testosterone passed around. People need to actually wake up and get a little bit more involved and upset about what's going on. But listen, back to we sidetracked. Back, no more off the politics. Really, it's the financial discipline, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you're doing that. And I'll tell you what, the best thing I've ever done, okay, is when you make it automatic or automated. Okay, when you automate your investing, when you automate your savings, okay, it gets done. How does that look like? This is the best piece. This is, if you guys take nothing else, take this away from it. Okay, if you're getting money deposited into your personal checking account, and let's just say it's $1,000 every week, you can have your payroll company deposit $250 of that into a savings account that you don't touch, right? You could also have your payroll company put $250 in an investing account every single week that you don't touch. You just put that money in where it needs to be. Or if you look at any of the exchanges, so like Gemini, Coinbase, any of these, you guys can be having that type of savings okay, or investing, draw on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. And there's no reason not to have that done, because guess what? If it's not hitting your checking account, okay, most people won't spend it. So do it the smart way, guys. And this will really help you over the long haul, save, invest, and have a much better financial framework to build wealth. All right. So I hope this helped you guys. This is Financial Fitness Friday. We will catch you next Friday. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Be great, Joe.